The term mindset basically refers to how you feel about your ability to learn new skills, new ways of thinking, languages. It applies to so many things. Growth mindset is when you think, I can change, I can grow, I can learn new things. People who are in a growth mindset see failure as an opportunity to grow, and that you can learn anything you want to learn, and that if you're challenged with something, that is going to help you grow. People who are in a fixed mindset are people who think things like, if I fail at it, I'm just not good at it, so shouldn't try anymore, or I'll never understand calculus, so I'm not even going to try, or my mom was bad at math, or nobody in my family can draw. All of these things are examples of a fixed mindset. And I've heard these terms for a long time, but it has only really been in the last couple of years that I've realized how powerful they really are. One thing that is important to know is that the human brain is this wonderful organism that continually reorganizes itself, and it forms new neural connections throughout life. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's one reason why it is so important to keep your brain active. I'm afraid we start this in elementary school when we start labeling people as either gifted and talented or special ed or ADHD or any of those labels, when the reality is you're all just too young in elementary school to be labeled at all. The only time that labeling should be used if it's to help you succeed. One of the reasons why these labels still persist today is that most teachers grew up in a system where we might have been red birds and blue birds and yellow birds, and supposedly just calling us different colored birds would keep people from knowing who was the smart group and the medium smart group and the not so smart group. But everyone knew, even the kids in the not so smart group. I would like to tell you two stories, one based on an observation of mine and one that comes from my own life. Earlier this year, a fellow teacher asked me to join the Harlingen Marathon. They had the traditional marathon, and then they had a 5K run or walk. And she asked me to join the 5K walk. Now, I thought this was ridiculous because if any of you know me, you can probably tell that I don't even like to drive 5K, much less participate in a walk for 5K. But she was persistent and explained to me how easy it would be and how people would help me, and I didn't even really have to finish if I didn't want to, but I should try. And so I chose to enter the 5K walk, and I was able to get it done. I was able to help raise money. I got a t-shirt that one day will hopefully fit me. And I was able to change my mindset. I thought something like this, a community activity like this, would be something that I could never participate in any way. And now I know that I can. I know the feeling of what it is to get up at 6 in the morning and walk with a bunch of nice people through town to raise money, raise awareness, and just to be part of a community. And now that's something I never thought I would be able to do. I changed my mindset from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Another story I'd like to share with you about the power of a growth mindset is about a young man that I met last year named Patrick. And I've changed the name, obviously. But Patrick was a guy who stood in Wing 3. During every lunch, he wore a long camouflage coat, and he liked to pretend he was helping the security guards or whoever teacher was on duty, and I was the teacher that was on duty. And Patrick, I'm guessing, was probably on the autism spectrum. He had difficulties communicating. He received special services at school, and you never really thought of him as anyone who would be going to college. And he would talk to me about taking the TSI test. And I would give him some materials, and some other teachers would give him materials. And eventually he started coming in. And at first I was like, this is hopeless. I don't know what I can do for him. But I tried to remain positive because he was positive. And he would study very hard. And he gradually learned the material for that test. Actually, what he learned was how to take that test. He learned these study skills. And his big dream was to go to TSTC and learn computer security skills. And he actually, in the spring of his senior year, passed the TSI writing, the TSI math, and then the TSI reading. And the TSI reading was literally like the last week of school. And when I found out, I was so happy about that because this kid kept his positive mindset. He didn't become frustrated. He didn't blame other people for his problems. He was persistent in asking you to help him. He was polite, and it made people want to help him. And he passed that test on his own. And we know that we have many kids who never end up taking or passing that test. They may not think it's important, or they may not think that it is something that they need to do. But Patrick knew that it was his goal, and he wasn't going to let any label or any attitude from a teacher or instructor or anyone else stop him from achieving that goal. And really, in my 32 years of teaching, it's one of the most inspirational and wonderful stories I've ever heard. So I never, ever will tell someone that they're wasting their time in trying to pass a test.